I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Monday, January the 16th, where we saw a huge volume of feeder cattle cash sales last week. One of the biggest weeks we've seen in several years, actually. And a lot of those people that didn't sell their cattle private treaty or in the country or on some type of a video auction earlier because they just didn't like the market all through the fall there. Maybe they PO'd their cattle on video or just couldn't come to agreement with their regular country buyer, but probably thought it over the holidays and said, well, when the sales start again in the new year, I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger. And it paid off for them because the market has come around a whole lot, and they did gain quite a bit of ground there. But we had huge sales, a lot of stock show specials in Colorado and Nebraska and Wyoming, places like that. Big volumes there. Also big volumes up through the plains there in your normal high volume sales. But a good test of the market. You look at a week last week that had the board ending up with fats $3.65 higher for the week on February. March feeders were up $5.50 for the week. Your fat cattle trade ended up a little higher, 119 live and 190 dressed. So we saw good signs there. But last week's feeder cattle trend throughout the sale barns and on current sales, your feeder cattle going right into the feedlot, weighing mostly over 750 pounds. A lot of them big calves and not too many true yearlings, but some short yearling cattle there. Sold $2 to $5 lower. It's just hard to tie those to anything that will make those hedge and having to being forced to sell those cattle cheaper. There's not nearly as much demand, but good demand for your growing cattle there, weighing under 750. Those feeder calves right in there, firm to $4 higher. Not a lot of lightweight selling anywhere on the market, just in the southeast, but good demand for those cattle. And people are still thinking that cattle are a good investment to go ahead and background for people that do that for a living. Had some rain in the southern plains here, a lot of storms around, and it didn't turn out to be as bad as everybody thought most of that was going to be. Not nearly as much freezing rain, not as much of an ice storm as what we thought, but just a lot of good moisture, especially in the Texas Panhandle, western Oklahoma, places that have a lot of wheat pasture. Got a good soaking rain there. I don't know what the measurements were, but it came slow and every bit of it soaked in, and then boy, that wheat really needed a drink around there. They'd already been pulling cattle off of wheat. That was a lot of your volume there in Oklahoma and places like that because those cattle were running out of wheat and they're just being forced to pull those off. But now, once we get some warmer weather coming back in and some sunshine, this wheat will really pop, and it'll be a good late season for the wheat and graze out too. But had the bell ringer going on Wednesday and Thursday. Superior's video auction there at the National Western Stock Show. Had 83,000 offered on it. Saw similar gains on that auction as we've seen in the local sale barn auctions across the country throughout the end of last year, because it'd been a month since they'd had a sale in the early part of this year. But you look at some sales there in Lexington, Nebraska on Friday. They had the 7 to 9 weight bunches there. This week averaged 130.60 or to 139.10. That's what they brought. Last week is 135 to 140.75. So roughly $2 to $5 lower. Look at an individual quote on Beef Market Central there. Tama, Iowa on Friday at 2:30 in the afternoon had a load of 823 pound steers at 137. That's your feeder flash for Monday.